A basic position to start to engage the muscles in your stomach. This is an easy one to do throughout the day. Whether you are standing at the kitchen counter, it can also be done sitting at a desk. You have something in front of you, right? So most people, their issue is that these back muscles are really tight and pulling their pelvis into this anterior tilt, or back into a big arch. So starting off, resting forward on a counter, so your back is a little bit rounded, and you very lightly press down into your hands. Now as I do this, I'm not hiking my shoulders up, so it's a little bit of a downward pressure into the heel of my hands, and as I do that, if you watch my pelvis, I'm going to lightly pull it, almost like I'm trying to pull my hands and my pelvis towards each other, and that gives me this tension in the back of my arm, into my armpit, coming down along the side into my abdomen. And I would hold for 5 seconds and relax. It's also a nice way to stretch or decompress the lower back. Just make sure as you press, like we're seeing here, I'm not hiking or letting my shoulders hike up towards my ears. I'm actively pulling my shoulder blades down. And then relax. And then to make this a little more challenging, going from the bent over position, can I do the same thing, standing up a little taller? So arms out straight, it's the same, elbows in, pressure into the heel of the hands, and I'm also pulling my pelvis under me. A lot of people that don't have this awareness, when they do it, they want to bend their knees because it's hard to get this control of doing this motion without moving other parts of your body. So sometimes it's a worthwhile drill just to see, can you keep your hands fixed, right? Shoulders still, and without really bending your knees, just a slight bend so they're not locked, can you move your pelvis in an isolated manner? It may be more difficult up here. It'll be a little easier down here in this bent forward position to see same thing. Can you tuck your pelvis without necessarily going into a bend of the knees or really trying to round at the back? So start here, see how you do with a little bit of motion, and then can you press down and pull your pelvis underneath you? If that's going well, a more challenging position will be up a little bit taller. Once again, can you move your pelvis in isolation without doing this or without doing this? And once you're able to do that, can you then once again press into the heel of your hand, elbows in, pull the pelvis underneath you? Like I said, this could also be in a sitting position at a desk. Obviously this is a little bit higher than a typical desk, but the same idea. If my hands are here, it's just going to be that same, can I press down and tuck my pelvis? This is a way for someone who's sitting at a desk throughout the day to very lightly engage their stomach and break up a lot of that static posture where their back is in this position where no muscles are really active. So literally just periodically pressing into your desk to wake up some things a lot of times is also helpful to relieve pain. Even without the desk, I can do the same thing, just pressing into my thighs. So if I'm in a movie, if I'm in a position where I know that sitting for an extended period of time starts to agitate my back, even just very lightly pressing into my thighs, thinking about that same tension into my stomach, just to keep my trunk active versus being in this kind of passive, non-engaged slouch position that maybe starts to put some loading into my back. So you see as I do it, I kind of pull myself up tall and I lightly press down with a squeeze into my armpit, my tricep, and into my stomach.